It's the best local sports show in Jacksonville. This is the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Oh, man. Oh, man. The weather outside was frightful. The Jags were not so delightful early on, but they almost stole one, didn't they? You flip the show on in here, please, Liv. Welcome to the Jags postgame show. Hicken here, Brent's in Indy. We're going to have postgame reaction coming up. Gosh, they almost stole it. They almost stole it, man. But this isn't the old Jaguars, man. The old Jaguars would have got annihilated today. They took some shots early, block punt for a touchdown. You look up, it's 17-0. Game over. Let's go mow the lawn. Let's go to the mall. Let's go to a movie. No. This team's got a little fight in them. A little bit of fight. Liv, can you hear me? Can I see the show in here? I'm watching the Packers here. I'd like to see what we're doing in here so we know. Thank you, Liv. Super Bowl Liv taking care of this back here. So, really clamp down on defense. Another good defensive performance. We got a lot of problems on the offense. I'm not going to pile on Trevor Lawrence. I'm telling you, a great experience for him today. Getting the football at 23-17, 2 minutes plus to go, methodically moving the football nicely, plenty of time. We got a minute to go now. We're at about midfield. And then he tried to do a little too much with that football. He fumbled it. You can't do that, Trev. You got to go down. You've got to go down. Do not. What's the point of fighting for an extra yard in that situation? Get down, slide, get out of bounds. One time he ran out down the side and he took on a hit too. I know trying to do too much. Just relax. Let the game come to you. I know it's hard. We got to get some weapons around him. But I just want to caution Jaguar fan who are starting to get antsy about Lawrence. Relax. It's going to be okay. He's good. He'll be better. He'll continue to get better. Every game is a good experience. Gosh, if we had a ton of sports talk radio and social media and all that when Peyton Manning was a rookie, it'd been tough. 28 picks he threw that year. But the offense is bogged down. It's struggling, right? What do we score today? 17? That's a high we haven't had that many since the Dolphin game in London. We got to do better on offense. But the guys got to do better too. The quarterback's got to do better. The line's got to do better. The receivers got to do better. They got to get open. They don't get open. If you listen to the guys doing the game today there, and Brent will probably tell you, they're not getting open. They're not getting separation. They're not. So, there's Carson Wentz, a 7-year vet. We start getting after his rear end, man, and he's missing throws all over the place too. Really good job by the defense. Allowed us to get back into that thing. But I tell you what, a couple things. At the end, the Colts made a couple plays, and we did, and we turned it over. Lawrence fumbled it at midfield. And put up some numbers. We'll take a look at what we have on our game day notes page. Carson Wentz, just 22 out of 34 for 180. Trevor had, I believe, 5 drops. Everybody has drops, so I get it. Ended up throwing for 162. Jonathan Taylor goes over 100. But again, first 2 drives, listen closely now. First 2 drives, 10 carries, 93 yards. So let's do the math. After that, 11 carries, 23 yards. 11 carries, 23 yards. But the damage was done, man. So why did the Jags, what we got to identify is, why did they come out slow? Because I'm telling you, it's a tough team, man. And if they had won today, if they had somehow just stolen one in Indy, okay? If they had just stolen this one in Indy, then they come home to play San Francisco and Atlanta back-to-back. I like our chances, man. I like our chances coming home next week right now. Got to play better on offense, though. Agnew had a nice play, had a drop too, though, but nice 66-yard run, kind of keep us hanging around when we were on the ropes early. And after that, man, after giving up 17, and again, 7 of those block punt, don't forget that. So after that, the defense clamped down the Colts, played terrific football for 3 quarters. But you can't have mistakes. You can't, on the road, hand a team 7 points. And that's what the Jags did. That's inexcusable to have a punt blocked in the NFL. Can't happen. Logan Cook had never had a punt blocked in, I think, 251 career punts. Let's hear from Brent up there at Lucas Oil.
Just outside the Jaguars locker room here in Indianapolis, a tough loss, 23-17. They had an opportunity with Trevor Lawrence, ball in his hands late in the game, and they were driving, and then Trevor fumbled. Not a good game for the offense once again. Not a good game for Trevor Lawrence overall. Drops by his receivers, and they just can't get enough points on the board. 23 points is the season high so far this year. You don't win games in the NFL scoring 17 points, but that would have been a growing up moment for the rookie quarterback, and he fumbled it away. With all the mistakes, the one thing the Jags have done a decent job as of late, holding onto the football on offense. They just can't score enough points. And then right at the end, obviously, Trevor Lawrence doesn't hold on and give him a chance. Plenty of time left on the clock. They were on the Colts side of the field. Jags had all the momentum, and they couldn't get it done. The Jaguars defense really hanging in there. The Jaguars overall hung in there after an awful start. They were down 17-0 in this game. Almost steal one on the road, but almost doesn't get it done in this league. The Jaguars lose 23-17, and now it's all about the offense. How do you get it going? How do you fix it? How do you get Trevor Lawrence playing a little bit better as well? That will be what the Jaguars will look to try to do as they head back home next week. More to come from Indianapolis in just a bit. For now, always on the road with the Jags. I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax.
I disagree with Brent about one thing. It was a growing up moment for Trevor Lawrence. It wasn't a great growing up moment, but there's a growing up moment. Like, he'll learn and he won't make that mistake again. I think that's what Trevor is going to do as we watch him. Remember, beginning of the year, he's throwing interception after interception. He learned. He stopped throwing interceptions. Now, that trying to do a little too much, well, he'll learn. He'll learn. Let's listen in. Shaquille Griffin's up at the podium. Let's listen in and see what he has to say.
Last 3 quarters of that game, but Jonathan Taylor went nowhere in the last 3 quarters.
I feel like we did well on defense. Don't get me wrong. Definitely had some missed opportunities, including my play. But I feel like we did really well. We turned things around. I feel like the main conversation we had going into halftime is getting back to our ball. I feel like first half, you go back to the last game, we was a very energetic, defense, talking, communicating, having fun with it, enjoying it. And my main thing was getting everybody to calm back down. So going into that third quarter, you can see everybody starting to lighten up a little bit, enjoy this game, talk a little bit more, communicate a little bit more, and start to change things around. So we just got to utilize that and keep that, and going into each game, each quarter, that continue to play our ball, focus on the defense.
Do you feel like you guys did enough defensively to win the game today, except for the fact that you weren't able to get through?
No. Main thing is we do whatever it takes to win this game, and we didn't get this W, so we got to do more. I'm the type of guy, I'm very, very, very hard, especially on myself. So, you talk about the play, I could have got my hands on it and went for 6. I get that ball in my hands and I score. That's a different game. So I got to do better. I put that on me.
Did Hilton get his hand in there on that play?
Yeah, but there's no excuse. If it touches my hands, I got to grab it. Simple as that, and I got to do better.
How frustrated are you personally over those? Because you've had some opportunities now here this season.
Very frustrated. I know what type of player I am, and I feel like I've been doing a phenomenal job up so far, but it can be even better. You talk about the plays I have been making. If I get those interceptions as well, it's a whole different season for me. So, and I know, our team, this organization needs that, so I have to do better. And like I said, I'm the person that's going to coach myself harder than anybody ever could. So, like I said, I'll take this upon myself. I have to do better. I have to.
Jack, what were you guys able to do to slow down Taylor in the second half?
Man, I don't think we changed anything. I just feel like, getting off blocks, being in the right fits. Like I said, communicating, seeing things before it happened. I feel like we had a really good game plan. I feel like we felt really confident going into this game. I just feel like we started off, not believing what exactly that we've seen in practice. So, like I said, I told them get back to our ball. Let's have fun. Let's communicate. Let's talk about it. Enjoy this moment. Have fun competing. Love that. So that's the only thing we changed. And when we went back, understand we had to compete each play that we got an opportunity to. So we went back to our ball. I think that's the only thing we changed up. Playing clean football, making our tackles and having fun with it. I think that's the defense. That's the identity they want to have. That energetic, that's going to compete their butt off and make every play they can try to make and continue to have fun with it. That's our game. So we got to get back to that.
You said start off believing or not believing what you saw in practice. Can you explain?
So the main thing is when I say that, trust your eyes. trust in your eyes. Understand that this same play that we see multiple times, understand that this is what it is. You know, don't overthink it. Don't overguess it. This is what we've been seeing this whole time. Just believe in that. Let's play fast. And once we kind of calm down, that's all we had to do. We just had to settle in, calm down, and we got into our regular, our regular game. And that's the part that we got to capture early, out the gate. And we will. We will. I feel like this defense have made a phenomenal jump when you're talking about from week 1. So, definitely, they can't count us out yet. We're going to continue to get better. We're going to get this thing turned around. And the main thing is the reason why I'm so excited to get these things turned around, because we can only go up.
What's your opinion What's your opinion on Michael Pittman?
He's going to be a phenomenal athlete. I feel like he made some really great plays today. When he has opportunity to get the ball, he made some good catches. I feel like there's a lot of things that he's going to do and learn over the course of the years, but I feel like he's going to be definitely a receiver that, we'll be talking about, later on. And I like his game. And, it's my first time I get a chance to play with him, play against him. So don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the next one. So definitely respect his game, and they'll definitely see me again.
I feel like this is on this defense is now. Back week, except in the first quarter, back week.
For sure. Like I said, understand the identity is this energetic, play hard, aggressive, having fun defense. That's who we are. That's our identity we want to keep. But like I said, it doesn't mean anything if we can't do it every single quarter. And that's the part that we're going to fix. Like I said, we're going to do better. We're going to do a little bit more. That's what it takes. And, one thing about it, we got our offense back. Our offense still going to do some great things. And like I said, whatever we can do more on defense, we will do it. I feel like everybody who may come up here and say the same thing, we're going to do more. We're going to figure this out. We have no choice.
Appreciate it. Griffin meeting with the media. We'll see who else approaches the podium here and have those comments for you. Dropped a pick. He's beating himself up over it, but he's played really good football for the Jaguars this year. Is that Dan Arnold? Check in with him.
The belief I'm sure you guys have, you were going to take it down and score one the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would say the greatest attribute of this team would be that, we're, no matter what people say about us, we're always going to keep on fighting. And that, I feel like a lot of people can say that about their team, but I think it's honestly something that I truly believe. That there's people that think that we play bad football and say that we don't have good players, and at the end of the day, we're just a group of cats that are going to go out there and keep on playing no matter what. And yeah, unfortunately, we turn the ball over, and that's kind of how this game goes sometimes. But you just got to move on from it.
How did the 2-point try open up for you?
Yeah, it was just a schemed run kind of thing. We knew it could be there if the ends were going to play upfield, and we just had a shot at it, and it worked out. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Dan, what's the conversation like with Trevor? The last few weeks, offense obviously looks a little out of sync. He obviously turns it over here late. How do you try, young quarterback, trying to keep him heading in the right direction, even if it might not be all good right now?
Yeah, I think, kind of what I was saying to him at the end of the game was he's got a lot of football ahead of him, and he's not going to be defined by like these moments where, yeah, he turns the ball over at the end of the game, but it's going to be how you're going to respond from it. I kind of gave him a little anecdote of myself when I was second-year player in New Orleans, and I dropped a touchdown pass in the NFC Championship game, and there was a lot of the offseason that I let it define me, and then I kind of finally just made a decision that I'm going to move on from it, and I'm going to become a great football player. And that's something I don't doubt that he's going to be able to do. I have all the faith in him that he's going to be a tremendous player, not only for the rest of this year, but also for 10, 15 years. And he knows that too. And he's going to get there. These are just growing pains. And we'll get there. And like I said, the biggest thing is that we got a bunch of guys around him that are going to support him no matter what. And that's really all there is to it.
How hard is it to get anything going rhythmically on offense when the drops, the penalties, it just seems like everything has to be perfect for you guys to kind of execute and get things going?
Yeah, miscues are always, that's just the nature of the NFL, you pretty much have to play perfectly in order to win football games in the NFL. That's just kind of how it is. Yeah, there was a lot of miscues today. You know, I played, I think, one of my worst games in a while. Drop balls, false start penalties, stuff that just can't happen if you want to win football games, especially tight games against divisional opponents. That's just stuff that can't happen. And I think everybody knows that, and that's going to be. We know we can win football games. We know we're a talented group, and it's going to come down to those little details that we're going to have to really start honing in on those things if we want to, you know, get to the spots, get to the places that we want to get to.
It's magnified when you have a young quarterback still trying to figure out the lead, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is you try and make it as easy as you can for a young guy behind the pocket, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to we got to play better.
Did you were you saying to Trevor either after the fumble or in the locker room, just kind of just to make sure that he's not going to let this beat him down?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to him. I said, hey, this moment right now is not. That's not what matters. It's how we're going to move on from this, and that's gonna ultimately define you as the kind of player that you are. And I could see it in his eyes that he's ready to move on from it. You know, it was all stuff I was saying that he deep down agreed with, I think. But yeah, I mean that's the testament to any athlete these days is you're going to have a lot of bad stuff happen, and it's going to be magnified with all of the cameras and everything around, and all the microphones going. But it's going to be, are you going to be able to shut that all out and just move on and win the next football game?
You talked about your experience bouncing back from your situation and how you think Trevor has the same ability. What's the qualities and maybe with the player, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think you have to be rooted in what your beliefs are personally. Whatever motivates you and whatever deep down it is that truly inspires you to be the greatest version of yourself. You have to hone into that, and you have to be real with yourself and know that you can move on. And I think Trevor is a very grounded person, and I think it'll come naturally and easily for him. And it sounds like we're talking about it's all Trevor's fault, but it's not anywhere close to that. I think everybody played bad. There was drop balls everywhere and penalties everywhere. And I think it's one of those things as an offense we have to kind of just put on our shoulders and say, hey, we got to get better for you, and we will.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, guys.
We had 5 catches for 67 yards today for the Jaguars. And here, close out the noise, Trevor, get back to work, and come get a victory over San Francisco and Atlanta back-to-back at home in the next couple weeks. That would be special. Ah, man, but boy, if they could have stole this game, because they didn't play good for a quarter, right? And if they could have stole this game, think about this now. They could have got to 3-6. And let's say those 2 at home, you get a couple dubs. All of a sudden, you're 5-6 through 11 games, man. You're right. I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm talking about stacking wins. I'm talking about experiences. And again, great experience for Trevor Lawrence. Here's your first one. You get the ball. This is what the NFL is all about, gang. This is it. This is what happens. The great quarterbacks, they get the ball, and they drive the field, and they win the game. That's what the great ones do. And that's what we're going to expect from Trevor Lawrence eventually. I don't think we have to expect it right now, and I don't think he has near enough help. And I think a lot of people want to, a lot of you on Twitter or your social media are ripping Trevor. This guy's a bust. This guy, come on, man. He's fine. He's fine. All right? Got a long way to go, but he's making some good plays. Guys don't help him out. I can think of 5 drops, including a beautiful ball to Agnew down the sideline, a long ball. Chenault turning around right through his hands. Arnold himself had one early where got to get his head around and catch the football. Trevor's trying to get it out quick. Had some pressure today. So tough loss for the Jags. Let's listen in on the coach now, Urban Meyer.
That was a twist, and I just saw from those little things you look at on the other sideline, pictures. It was a looper, and we just made an error. To know exactly what happened, I do, but I don't want to say anything until I know exactly what happened.
Urban, how out of sync is the offense right now?
I'm sorry?
How out of sync is your offense right now between drop passes and penalties and pressure at inopportune times?
Yeah, that was awful. The first half, accumulation of errors, but they responded. They came back. A defense, the one thing about that locker room, man, they fight for each other. They care about each other. And but I saw what you saw. Out of sync is probably not a strong enough word or description of an offense. But then second half, you came down with the ball in your hand and a chance to go win it. So I'd rather focus on getting things fixed, but also focus on the relationship in the locker room we're dealing with right now.
Do you get the sense because of some of that, Trevor might not trust everything he's seeing, or is he not playing great football right now?
I think it's, I think the transition from college to pro, I've heard that, from some players I've coached and from other guys, but you'll continue to hear this as long as I'm around, and that is that when a quarterback plays great, everyone else around him plays great. When a quarterback really struggles, you can find it everywhere. 3 holding penalties, or a position had 3 or 4 penalties. What is that? That's not the quarterback, but it's cumulative, and he's the quarterback. So when the offense is playing great, it's because the quarterback and everyone around them playing great. When they struggle, it's everybody around them as well.
How confident were you once you picked up the first down on the drive that, hey, we got something going here, and did you have a strong belief that, hey, this was going to be Trevor's first real fourth quarter moment?
Yeah, he did it in London. That was a fourth quarter moment, but
this was a length of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we practice hard, and you see it in practice. If you didn't see it in practice, then there'd be zero confidence. But I'd be shocked if you had interviewed anybody on the sideline to say we're going to get on and win this game, even when we didn't perform well in the first half. I think the wideouts and everybody felt we're going to go down and win that game.
Coach, what does it feel to you? I mean, you're almost there, you're almost close, you almost win this game close, and not, unable to get over the barrier again.
Well, I just said on the radio that, culturally, I'm a big believer in culture. I'm a big believer in leadership. I always have been. Alignment, everybody working together. And enough with the almost. When we figure that out, that's when you win. And I like what was said. I didn't say much after the game. Some players did, and we'll see how we show up next week against San Francisco in front of our home crowd. But I hate to say this because I usually try not to when you lose, but that was that second half. Boy, they on the road against a very good team. They played their tails off, man. And it wasn't pretty, but they could have sucked their thumb and left after the second quarter, like you see some teams do. They didn't do that. So I hate to use the word proud, but I am.
You think the defense is where it needs to be at?
Yeah, their last since. It was awful in the first drive. They were gashing us in the stretch play, and Taylor had some nice runs. Carson made some plays. But I'm telling you, you guys saw what I saw the second half. We were getting the ball, and then the most disappointing part of the whole day was, to me, when our defense, the whole thing, the plan to win, and that field position chart we live by, we were living by it exactly the right. We were punting the ball down in there, holding them, getting the ball back at about the 40-yard line, and we didn't do anything with it. And that's a problem.
What do you worry at any point that, it's been like 3 weeks where you had a lot of the same issues, that is honestly who you are at this point with the offensive personnel?
No, because I've seen when we play at a high level, and I just have a stronger belief that we're fragile. You can't make a mistake. But I'm not sure who in the NFL can. Every week I watch, I'm amazed at some of the scores. And, 17-0, and, I don't want to say I was having positive thoughts at that moment, and then sure enough, they come roaring back, and the sideline was phenomenal. Miles Jack was out of his mind and playing like it. And so did Josh Allen, and so did Malcolm Brown, and so did Ray J. But no, we're not just saying that's what we are, because I don't believe that's who we are.
What changed against Taylor at the finish?
I'm sorry?
What changed against Jonathan Taylor after the first quarter?
You have to ask Joe when you talk to him, but I just think we tackle better. We weren't knocked out of the gaps. But I'd be remiss if I can't give you that answer. I will later on.
Urban, there's going to be a lot going on for Trevor as he makes his adjustment. Do you at all concern yourself with his psyche and a play like that, how the game ends, losing 3 in a row?
Of course I do. Yeah, of course I do. I grabbed him, and I think our whole team does. I mean, I think he's second or third most votes. I told you about captain. They love him. You name a guy that works harder, and we pick each other up. So it's kind of neat to see what happened in there afterwards. Yeah, heck yeah, I'm worried about that. He's got a lot on his shoulders right now, and that's why everybody around him got to play. You know what? Play a little better. All of us. Coach a little better. All of us.
You know, guys are he was going to have to go through all this stuff, to experience all the highs and the lows. So how hard is it for you to kind of get it through it, Rich? I'm assuming you want to accelerate as much as possible.
It's not a cookie cutter. That's not a cookie cutter question. You know, it depends on who it is. The one thing about Trevor is, this one stung. I could tell. This one stung. This one hurt him, and that's what's our my responsibility, our coaching staff, and the rest of the team. Pick each other up, man. It's got to go. You know, there's going to be critics. There's going to be this, but that's fine. Let's go out and beat San Francisco. We're going to get the ball in your hand again with a chance to go win the game. We're going to go do it this time. That's why we're going to take it.
When you say it's stung, is that because he blames himself? Is he just the type of guy to take responsibility that way?
No, he had the ball in his hand to go in the game. You know, and we did in London. And he threw one of the most beautiful plays, you know, of the year, you know, to knock that ball down or to get the ball down and kick a field goal to win. And we practiced it. And so, yeah, I just saw, you know, not when I say he was stung, a lot of guys were stung in there because we felt like we could go down and win the game on the road against a good team when you're 17-0 and looking bad. Thanks, guys.
Urban Meyer with some poignant comments. Transparent Urban's telling it like it is, man. You know, look, got some work to do. Guys love each other in that locker room. That's a good thing. But at some point, we got to translate those things into W's, and we will. He says we will. But tough loss for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, especially to fight back from a 17-0 deficit. And I will say this, just in talking to people and feeling, you know it, I know it. And you watch this game, and the Jags are down 17-0 in the first quarter. And again, it's time to go mow the lawn. It's time to go, you know, watch a movie. It's time to flip over to the Gators and Knowles basketball game. Something, right? But not this team. This team fought back, man. And the Jaguars teams of the past wouldn't have fought back. So I like seeing that. I like seeing that. Take a little bit of solace. The NFL is a results-oriented business, all about winning and losing. So losing sucks, right? Sorry, Junior Bug. But you want to get the wins, man. You want to get the wins, and they had a chance. They had a chance today, and they're going to kick themselves over this for a while. You know, block punt, missed field goal, missed extra point. Those are the things you got to make sure you take care of if you want to win, especially on the road. It's tough to win in the National Football League, and it's tough, really tough to win on the road. So the Jags lose. They fall to 2-7. We'll throw the standings up. Tennessee won today. They're 8-2. The Colts got to 500. That was important for them. They got a tough schedule coming up, but they're 5-5. And the Texans thankfully had a bye before they go ahead and lose their next 8 games. So I still believe in my heart of hearts that the Jaguars are going to win some football games this year, and not just one more. I believe that they're going to win multiple football games. I think it could start as early as next week. We've got the 49ers and the Falcons back-to-back at home, okay? Let's get a split of those two, right? Let's get to win number 3. And we could win both, but when you're 2-7, I'm not going to be so presumptuous that, hey, they'll win, you know. So let's get one. Let's get one of these. Then let's take the Rams, the Titans, and the Patriots, okay, the Rams, the Titans, and Patriots, and try to find one win in there. If you could find one win against those 3 teams, you'd be saying something, all right? That would get you to 4, all right? Texans you must beat. That's a must win. That would get you to 5. The Jets up there and the Colts at home. Well, you just played the Colts. You always do well against the Colts at home. Let's get one of those. All of a sudden, you're 6-11. And again, I've said this before this year, but here's why it's so important to get to 6 wins, 5 or 6 wins this year. Because you don't want to get to 3 or 4 and say, well, we improved from last year. We only had 1 win a year ago. So then you get to 3 or 4, and you're like, well, look, this is great. I mean, we got 3 or 4 wins. Yeah, but then next year, if you get to 7 or 8 wins, you're still happy, but deep down you're not, because we want to turn this around. One of the things that's lost when we compare Peyton Manning to Trevor Lawrence, the rookie years, the rookie campaigns, everybody talked about Peyton Manning's rookie campaign because he threw 28 picks that year. The Colts went 3-13, right? But nobody talks about the year after that. The very next year, the Colts went 13-3. So that's how fast they turned it around, but they had the right people around Peyton Manning. You know, you're going to get a Marvin Harrison. You're going to get an Edgerrin James. You know, you're going to get a Dallas Clark. You know, you start getting those types of guys. You're going to get a Bob Sanders on defense, who was a Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. So there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of players to get. Urban said it, when the quarterback does good and the offense does good, the quarterback's doing good, and everybody, when the offense does bad, it's not just the quarterback, but all the blame goes to the quarterback. So that's where we're at as the Jags lose 23-17 to the Indianapolis Colts. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a great game, but neither did the offense. The offense continues to struggle, but I guess we could say the offense got better than it did a week ago. A week ago, the offense scored 9 points. So today they put up 17. Next week, let's improve by 8 again, and let's get to 25. If you get to 25 with this defense, I think you'll find ways that you're going to be pretty successful. So that's the San Francisco 49ers who come to town across the country next week. So that's always a good thing as well. So we shall see what happens with that going forward. But the Jags today, slow start by the defense, 10 carries for 93 yards for Jonathan Taylor. I thought the guy was going to go for 400 yards today. And then all of a sudden, wham. And Shaq Griffin talked about trusting your eyes. Trusted our eyes. Okay. All right. I get you. He trusted his eyes. All right, here comes Trevor. Let's listen in on his comments.
Believe that last drive, you were going to take it down the field. You guys doing it.
Oh, yeah. No doubt that we were going to win that game. Get us the ball. Felt like offense finally had gotten a little bit of momentum, you know, towards the end of that second half. And just frustrated, obviously, in myself. But, yeah, we had no doubt we were going to drive down the field. And we were putting a good drive together. I think we were on the 50 or plus 45, somewhere around there. And just got to take care of the ball.
Did you feel like even when you knew you were going down that you had taken care of the ball enough so that it wouldn't get out?
I mean, this is a team that's what they do, is take the ball away, and we talked about it earlier in the week, and that was a point of emphasis. And as I was going down, someone came from the backside and punched it out, and I just got to take care of it. You know, I didn't think the ball was super loose, but at the end of the day, he punched it out, and that's on me. You know, I can't give that one up in that situation.
Somebody said this one really stung with you. Can you elaborate on it a little bit, and what does it mean with the teammates coming up and talking to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just we have a lot of belief right now in that locker room, and you know, I'm pretty hard on myself. And when you have the chance to win the game and you fumble on the last drive, especially when you have a great drive going, and we had all the belief on the sideline, like that just stings when, you know, you end the game that way. And I'm disappointed in myself, frustrated, but I know how far we've come. And I mean, you look back compared to the first couple weeks of the season, it's night and day of where we're at. And we got a locker room full of guys, you know, coaches and players that believe, and we're on the right track. But this one hurts just because I'm frustrated in myself. Had a chance to go win the game and got to do that. And I had no doubt we were going to win the game. The whole offense believed it, and just got to finish.
You knew you were going to have to go through stuff like this, but is it like the abstract of knowing you're going to have to go through it, then being in it, it's so totally different?
I mean, it's part of it. Like I said, I'm hard on myself, and I expect to play really well every game and put us in a position to win. And just a lot of reasons offensively, we just didn't play great today. I thought we picked it up a little bit at the end of the third, or mostly in the fourth quarter. But we just got to play better, and that starts with me. And so I'm hard on myself and got to get better. But I mean, yeah, there's going to be things you got to go through and stay positive. That's what I'm doing right now. And you know, the locker room is in, you know, good spirits. Obviously, we're pissed off. We, you know, had a chance to win that game, should have won that game, and didn't. So, but you know, the locker room's good, and you know, I'm good. Just gotta, you know, let it simmer for a day and then move on, and we got to go play San Francisco. So,
Trevor, the last 3 weeks it's looked a lot of sync on the offensive side. Are they giving you some new things? Is it just a matter of you guys not that famous word of executing, whether it's drops or penalties or your throw?
Yeah, it's just, for whatever reason, one of those stretches where we're a little out of sync and we got to get it fixed. It's just details all around every position group. It's cleaning up the details, being on the same page, and then just as simple as making the plays. I mean, there were so many opportunities today. Missed a few throws, had some drops, like all over the field. We gotta make those plays, and that's on all of us. And yeah, just that's what's frustrating, is when you lose a game like that on the final drive, you fumble and game's over when you had a chance to win, but then you look back and you had so many opportunities to execute on and put yourself in a situation to get points or to score or whatever, and we didn't. And the defense played great. I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row. I love the way our defense is playing. If they keep doing that, we're going to have a chance to win every game. And us as an offense, we got to take some responsibility and get better and put the right foot forward. So we'll do that. We got to just stick together, and we're going to do that. But definitely need to play better.
Obviously, the emotion of the game right now, just losing. But how's your confidence going through this stretch?
Yeah, my confidence is great. I came in today. I had a really good feel about our plan and the way we practiced and the way I practiced. I felt really good. I thought I was throwing it well. Like we said, though, you just got to make the plays when they're there, and that's everybody. That's every position on offense. We got to be better.
They face a lot of pressure. They got credit for like 10 quarterback hits. How do you kind of deal with that in the moment and so forth? And does it have a cumulative effect at all?
Yeah, I think it's they did a good job changing the looks. I mean, a lot of stuff we knew they were going to do, we prepared for, and they just do a good job of getting pressure on you. A lot of fire zones and trying to drop a couple guys out underneath so you don't have a quick, easy throw. But like I said, we had a lot of opportunities where they would run us hot and there was a free guy, but we'd get the ball off, and we just got to be on the same page on the little things, like where each other's going to be and getting that completion on those situations, and we didn't do that. I thought we left a few of those out there, and then there was some other times where we picked up the pressure great and made a big play with Marv. I think they brought 6 guys on that one, ran us hot, made a big play on the sideline to Marv, so that was the one. Did a good job executing, but we had a few that we missed, and you got to hit them.
Is there a part of you that, well, you don't want the struggles and all that, obviously, that relative to challenge fixing all of it?
I mean, obviously, you'd rather not have all the hiccups, and you'd rather be playing better, but there's always something to work on, no matter how good you play or bad you play. Like, there's always something to improve on, and we got a lot to improve on right now, and that's, like, to your point, the positive thing is, I mean, we won last week, didn't play well offensively. In a position to win this week, didn't play well offensively. So we're that close. We just got to play better football on offense and put the games away, and we're not doing it. So that starts with me, and we got to get better. But to your point, that's the way to look at it positively, is we've come so far, and we're playing, we're giving ourselves a chance in almost every game, and we got to finish.
What do you feel changed for you a little bit more in the second half when you're able to convert more on the third down than you did in the first half?
I thought we had a few plays, like I said, where we had to get on the same page, and there were some different looks, and we had to get some answers for those. And then after that, I thought we communicated really well throughout the game. And then I just thought guys made plays. There was a few contested catches, some tight windows, all that. I made some, nice throws that I missed a few in the first half, and then guys were making contested catches, and that was the thing. That was why we had that long drive where we ended up scoring. That was huge to get us back in the game. But then we had another drive where I think we were 3 and out with 7 minutes to go in the fourth, and that was, that hurt us. But then the defense, again, made a good stop, forced them into a field goal, and then we had a chance. So, yeah, I thought that we played better in the second half, but still left a lot out there.
The drops have been kind of a consistent theme, unfortunately, for the offense. What has to be your approach in trying to help those guys collectively kind of dig out of that?
I think it's a few things. Obviously it goes back to, like I said, making the play when it's there, but then looking in the mirror too. If I got to be consistently more accurate, so if I'm putting the ball where it's supposed to be more consistently, we're not going to have as many drops. Like, there's a few where, yeah, they could catch it, but I'm not throwing the best ball. So there's a lot out there. Obviously, there are some drops. There's some missed throws. There's just, it's football. That stuff's going to happen, but we definitely got to clean it up. We're having a few too many, and for me, I'm frustrated because I don't think I'm throwing the ball as well as I can, and we got to be cleaner.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you all. Have a good
All
one.
right, that's it. Trevor Lawrence, an unwavering belief in himself. You can sense that with that young man. That's a good thing. Let's see what the Jags can do going forward. We're more than halfway through this season, though, gang. 2 wins, 7 losses, 8 games left to go. So hopefully the Jags can crank it up a little bit, play a little bit better on the offensive side, and keep that defense playing good football. We will be back. What are we teasing first here, Liv? Jags Report Live. That's tomorrow. It's Sneakers. Come on out and join us. We do that every Monday at 7 o'clock. Who's scheduled to appear tomorrow? Is that James Robinson or scheduled? But we'll see what happens there. And then we'll be back tonight. Brent will have more from Indy with Action Sports Jax Primetime. We do that at 10:30 on Fox 30 and who knows when on CBS 47. Thanks for hanging out with us on the postgame show. Hicken here. Jags lose 23-17, fall to 2-7, but the sun will come up tomorrow, gang. See ya.
It's the best local sports show in Jacksonville. Thanks for watching the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.